For today's lunch, I think I'm going to make a vegetable soup. And I had stuff already in the freezer that I needed for it. I've got a pot over here where I've already started doing some onions on low with a little bit of olive oil, some diced onions. I also pulled out a bell pepper. I've got some more onions. I'm not going to use those. Shouldn't need. This is for my salad later. But I will be using chicken broth. I will be using frozen vegetables. This is a mixed vegetable that has carrots, corn, and green beans and peas. And I'm going to use veggie griller crumbles in place of ground meat. I diced up the onions. Now I'm going to dice up the red bell pepper. I don't want to put too much red bell pepper because bell pepper is really strong, has a strong flavor. So I'm going to do that. Probably just about, I don't know, it's maybe a third of a cup. Throw that in there to saute. My grandbaby is asleep. She just went down for her nap, and it's almost lunchtime. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to come in and make some soup. Dale is gone on a business meeting trip to North Carolina. So I'm not going to make a ton of soup because it's just for me for the next few days. So now I just need to kind of wait a minute for the bell pepper to get soft in there. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and cut up the rest of the bell pepper for salads and other recipes. It is, I think it's November the 3rd here in Central Texas, and it's a beautiful day. It's kind of cool. I think it's was in the 60s this morning. It's going to be in the 70s. And it looks like the forecast is going to be about like that until Thursday when it's going to get back into the 80s. You never know what it's going to be like in Texas in November. If you're going to get more summer, if you're going to get a little bit of a fall, or if you're going to get full-blown cold. I remember one year we went tent camping. The first week of November, it was freezing. But you never know. You may end up sweating. The seasonings that I use for this is really just whatever I feel like I want to put in it. I always salt and pepper. If I want to go with a little bit of Italian, then I may put Italian seasoning in it. If I'd rather instead put something like a little chili powder or paprika. If I want something more of Western flavor, I'm going to go ahead and add some chicken broth to the onions and the bell pepper. I'm going to add the whole box because we're going to be boiling our vegetables and our griller crumbles. I want to turn it up a little bit now because I'm going to want it to come to a little bit of a boil and then a simmer. I'm going to go ahead and add my mixed vegetables, just however much you think you want to add. I added, I don't know, a cup and a half. Put these right back in the freezer. I'm going to wait actually to add my crumbles. I don't want them to boil quite as much as the vegetables because I mean I'm not exactly sure how they keep this together to look like meat, but I don't want it to fall apart. I mean it never has, but I usually just kind of wait. But you know what I might add? I think I might add a can of tomatoes. But the question is, do I want to use plain tomatoes or something with peppers in it, like Rotel? Which direction am I wanting to go? Plain or a little more spicy? Let's see what we got. Well, it looks like I have a whole lot of petite diced tomatoes, no spices. So I'm just going to use that. I'm going to open it. You know, this can opener, I used to be really big on electric can openers, but these work so well and they don't take up any space on the countertop. So I really enjoy this. This is that brand. Um, I can't remember, but it has the OXO on it, whatever brand that is. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this in there. Might as well just add the whole thing. I love tomatoes. And then, of course, I'll rinse this out and take it to the recycle bin. I'll go ahead and salt and pepper it some. Just go ahead and give it a little seasoning. This will not be the final seasoning. I'm really big on tasting for seasoning. I'm just going to cover that up, let it come to a boil, and then simmer a little while so the vegetables get tender. In the meantime, I think I'll cut up some more of these vegetables for salads this week. So I will see you back here. So I'm going to reshoot what I just shot because when I went back to look at it, top of my head was cut off. What I just did, to recap, is I went ahead and opened up the veggie grillers, and I'll show you. It looks just like ground meat. See that? Looks like ground meat. I probably put less than a cup in there because I don't like a whole lot in my soup. But it does add, some extra texture and flavor to just a vegetable soup. Uh, we use these mostly for soup, but you can use it just like ground meat. And it smells good, looks good. It holds its shape like ground meat. I also added some Italian seasoning and some garlic powder because I think I'm going to go with a little bit of an Italian flavor. Um, and then near the end, I think I'll add a little bit of orzo pasta. I've had this in the pantry for a while, and I need to use it. I mean, it's expensive. It's expensive for little pastas. I don't know why. I have a cold salad that I use orzo with that I bought it for. I didn't even know what it was. I had to look for it in the grocery store. I just didn't grow up eating it. But I have a cold salad that you add olive oil and Asiago cheese and olives and tomatoes. Delicious salad. But I'm going to add a little bit to the soup at the end. Not much because I don't want a whole lot of pasta in there, but just something else to add a little bit of texture to it. So I turned it back up. I added the crumbles. I turned it back up the heat a little bit, so bring it back to a little bit of a boil, which it is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it down to low again and let it simmer and warm up the crumbles. Then I'm going to taste it. I imagine that it might need a little more salt, maybe a little bit more seasoning. I've also found that if I use tomato products in a soup or a sauce, that and my grandmother taught me this, that because tomatoes are acidic, that if you add just a little bit of sugar, I mean less than a teaspoon, like a half a teaspoon of sugar to your sauce or your soup, it kind of cuts the acidity and it just gives it a really nice, smooth, delicious flavor. It's kind of like my secret addition to things. I don't know. It might not be a secret. but that's what I do. So I'm going to let that cook a little bit, taste it, and add my orzo. Then we'll should be done. So our soup is just about done. I think the orzo may need a couple of more minutes just to finish getting soft. Um, I have found on my stove, I love gas. I only want gas stoves. But on the big burners, even if you turn on low, it's it gets hot. It's a rolling boil almost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it to one of my smaller burners on low and just let it cook a little longer. But it's looking really good. It's just the right thickness. It yeah, I think it looks great. So I hope you've enjoyed making vegetable soup with me. I enjoyed it.